So let's deal with these Anunnaki first, because you see the title. Now, when you say Anunnaki, you're saying, you hear the word Anu there, right? Anunnaki. The ancient word for earth was ki. This is where the Greeks adopted the word geo or geo. You see that, geology, geography, right? That G-E-O is really a key or Q-U-O or Q-I. Ki was the name for earth. So Anunnaki, or Anu, is this their highest deity. He's known as An. Okay, he had another name. He's known as An, and he also was known as El Elyon in the Hebrew. But the question is, what is his Sumerian name? You can't hinge everything on the biblical their source there, because they were known throughout many cultures. So in the culture of Mesopotamia, he was known as Anu, and Anu had children, and he had two sons by the name of Enki and Enlil. He had other children as well, but these are the main characters that, as it relates to the biblical text and how they came to the planet, and their names became known as Lord or Yahweh and El or Baal. Right, you'll see that throughout the Samuels. You'll see Yahweh as a title, but it's not exclusive to Enki. Enki, you hear the word ki, was Lord of the earth. En means master, right? So when you hear Enki, master of earth, Enlil, master of the skies. So there's two groups of beings. Enki was the firstborn of Anu, right? He was the firstborn. Enlil was the secondborn, but he was born of, in his bloodline, of a specific seed. So in their genealogy, he was of a pure seed. Enki, on the other hand, was part, let's say, reptilian, or part Homo saurian and part Anunnaki. Insofar as from his father, he had a different mother. So they would breed amongst different species as extraterrestrials, or amongst the angelic beings, or these groups of gods. So they had their conflicts there, and they had their issues there, as well as they had their agreements. But what happens is, understanding their genealogy and their interaction, you have to understand the story of what happened before Genesis. And then we'll walk down to how these beings played a part in Genesis, and why they decided to make a man. Why they said, okay, well, let us go make a man in our image and after our likeness. Let us do this thing. And you'll find out why some of them were walking and talking in the garden, because they took on physical form. How do you know that? Well, your biblical text gives many, many quotes about it. It's not something that's unknown. It's just that your preachers don't know. They don't know that these beings had arms, and Moses saw his face, or didn't see his face, right? He said, let me see. He turned his backside to Moses. They have fingers. He wrote with the finger of God on the text, or the scribed or inscribed in the tablets. So these beings are very much physical, and they can be spiritual as well. Just like you are physical and you can be spirit. But they have the ability, because of their evolutionary existence, and because they're millions, probably billions of years older than humans' existence. You're a newly created planet, right? 24 billion years ago, this planet, but the species, the 6,000-year-old creation of the Adamite, is fairly new. So when you look at these beings, don't look at them as a group of beings that you can compare yourself to, because their technology that they have has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. They've been genetically cloning for hundreds of thousands of years. They've been traveling intergalactically for hundreds, millions of years. They are of the intergalactic transverse and the various pathways throughout the universe. This is how they're able to come back and forth to the planet, and you're not able to get there. They travel in this huge craft called Nibiru. You've heard it, but you don't know what it means. It comes from the word Nebara, right? When you see the word Nebara or Nabrashta, when you see Nabrashta, you see it in the Strong's number 5043, and you'll see it also in the Arabic Nabara, which means to raise or elevate or to go. The word Habara or Hebrew comes from that. Nebara or Nibiru, Hibiru or Habiru is the same root word. It means to transverse or to cross. Abraham transversed or crossed the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. So he was called a Hebrew or Habiru. The Nibiru, the craft that these Elohim or Anunnaki travel in, is called Nibiru or Nabrashta or Nabara. Those are the Arabic and the Hebrew word. So you understand when you hear Nibiru, right? This is the craft that they use. It's called the Crystal City in the book of Revelations. When you see it, it's a huge craft that was built with particular stones and metals, and it has gates, and it travels intergalactically. It has the ability to it doesn't use fuel to travel because they've surpassed fuel usage. You're getting there where you're not surpassing fuel. You're not I see a question, Congo, where you're about to transfer from gas or fossil fuels to electric. But these beings know how to use the dark matter of space to transport themselves at lightning speed, which is a science that you've yet to learn. These beings know how to do that. So they can, what you call, travel in space and time at various speeds and come back and forth and know the future and know the past. And they've had what you call holographic computers. You're just getting these things now. Fortunately, so you'll have an idea of what I'm saying. Just think of a holographic computer that you're using. Just think of it on steroids, 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times better.